Welcome to Stoughton Media Access Corporation's Hometown Business Show. Today I have the pleasure to bring you to Stone Lovin' Pizza at 8 Washington Street in Canton. And with me on my right is Scott Lopes. Scott?
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for coming in.
You've built this restaurant and hoping to make it into a chain.
Yes.
So tell us, how did you first get the idea that you were going to be a pizza person?
I fell into it by accident. My brother had a pizzeria, asked me to come and help him, and went there for about a year and then realized I really liked it. I left the business for a little while, the industry actually, and as I was away from it, I kind of realized that's what I wanted to do. So I looked for a way to get back in and actually bought one of his pizza shops.
Now I've spoken with your general manager, Blake, and he's told me that you did a lot of research for dough and cheese.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What makes it so special here at Stone Lovin'?
Oh God, it was a huge education. So there's so much. There's an art to making pizza, all different kinds of pizza. Whether you have a pan pizza and what we do here, hand tossed pizza, and there's different methods of cooking. So I looked at the top pizzerias in the country and how they did it, and they all had a similar format. They all used the same process. It's called cold fermentation, where they let the pizza dough rise and sit in the cooler for about 2 to 3 days, and that really develops the flavor. And I knew that was the direction I wanted to go because I visited some of these places and I said, I gotta have this. So just years of research, experimentation, and it brought to the product that we have today.
So what other things have you added to your menu, and what was your inspiration to get a more full menu?
The inspiration for the menu was simple. Years ago, I kind of saw where the industry was going with Panera Bread and businesses like that, and where they were taking it, and what the customers, the palates were changing, and they wanted something different. So I saw the success of that business concept, and I wanted to take a pizzeria and kind of change it into that concept. So rather than offering fries and chicken tenders and the regular stuff you see on the menu, we wanted to go with, quote unquote, a healthier alternative, but stuff that doesn't offer the fries and the tenders, and we got a great response from it. A lot of people come in here because they don't want their kids eating that stuff anymore. So so I cross-referenced the best chains, the Panera Breads, Alba Payne, and saw what they did, and it wasn't rocket science. I said, well, let's just kind of see what they did and see what happens, and it's been a great response, yeah.
So sort of the next, what do you see as the next edge? And I've done a little bit of research. It seems to be pushing towards gluten-free. I don't know if you agree with that. But what's sort of the next wave of pizza change that you think you're going to see?
I think you're going to see a lot more gluten-free products, not just in the crust. We do offer a gluten-free crust, but the innovation in products that are coming out is such as bread. The stuff that's coming out is actually tasting really good, where a few years back you'd go and get something gluten-free, it didn't taste good. So there's a lot of innovators in the market that see the market opportunities. And so I'm constantly going out to food shows and seeing what is out there. And so I see my next thing as being more gluten-free, vegan, bringing in dishes like that and sandwiches like that.
Well, that's exciting for me because I'm a vegetarian, by the way, so I'm really excited about that.
Great.
You had some good success here, and you're planning an expansion. So tell us about that.
Well, we have somebody licensed a Stone Lovin' name, and they're going to be opening in Brewster sometime in the spring.
Yeah.
So I'm helping them build that store, menu development, recipe formulation. So that's going to be our first licensee. And as of now, we're just currently going out looking for other locations, taking our time, not rushing into anything. And but that's our next thing for us, is to actually own another one. At the same time, try to offer licenses to people. So that's very small growth.
So if you would give like an appreciation out there, what would some of the things like that you would appreciate how you got to where you are?
Oh God, well, it was a lot of hard work, a lot of trial and error. Started out with a small pizza shop, a different concept than this, going into Boston and seeing all the new pizza bistros and what they were doing with similar menus and similar ideas with a showcased oven. That was my inspiration. And then, like I say, a lot of research and a lot of hard work to try to get from that point to here. Probably took about 5-6 years.
Wow. So
to get
I think
to
that's
that
great
point.
for the audience to hear, though, that people who are thinking of starting a business, you said it wasn't brain science, but believe
It's
me,
not
it
brain
can
science,
be.
it's not rocket science, but it is an incredible amount of diligence on menu development and recipe formulation. It takes a lot to get to that point, as well as understanding the market that you're going to go to and service. Is the market open for this type of concept? That is just as hard as developing the store concept. So there's a lot that goes into it, and it doesn't go quick. It could take quite a few years to get to that point, because the reality hits you once you start looking at places for lease, how much it is, gauging. It's just putting together the business plan and everything. It takes a long time,
Right.
but it's worth every second of it. If you have a passion for it, everybody should be able to do it.
I'd like to introduce you to the general manager of Stone Lovin' Pizza, Blake Nyman. Blake, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Appreciate the time and the opportunity.
Yeah, so this is a great pizza place. I even have my pizza notes for the audience on a pizza plate. So one of the things that you told me prior to the interview is that you do some special stuff with the dough. Tell us about that.
Well, unlike a lot of traditional style pizza places, we use a 3-day rise on our dough, which means we make the dough that you eat every night, every day, every afternoon, 3 days prior to when you sit down at the table or take it home or have it delivered to you. What that does is that gives the time for it to age properly and ferment properly. So it gives you that crisp, airy feeling in our crust that you don't get a lot of other places. That, combined with a traditional stone hearth cooking at 600 degrees, is what makes Stone Lovin' Pizza a little bit different, a little out of the ordinary compared to your average pizza joint. So,
Where did you learn how to do this? I mean, it's an amazing skill. How did you figure it out?
Well, in terms of making the pizza, Scott and actually my other manager, Ryan, also my best friend, taught me about 8 years ago. But when it comes to the dough recipes and everything, that's Scott. Scott's the mastermind. He's been in the business for about 15 years now. He's done a lot of research. He's done a lot of experimentation with different kinds of dough, different kinds of flour, different yeast levels, salt, sugar, everything that goes into that, he's done the research for. I'm just kind of the horse that carries out what he's shown me, you know what I mean? But the brains behind the operation is Scott. He's the owner.
All right, so Scott, his last name is?
Lopes.
Lopes, Scott
Lopes.
Lopes. So he started the business about 8 years ago, are you thinking? Or?
He bought his first restaurant about 10 to 15 years, probably about close to 15 years ago on Cape Cod. It was called Pizza Wave.
Okay.
Small little Greek-style pizza joint that he bought off of his brother, Ron. He turned it around with great customer service, consistency and quality food, and great staff. He turned it into a staple of the Barnstable's, pizza and restaurant community. And that's where I got my first job, my sophomore year of high school.
Wow,
So-
and you've gone from that to being general manager of the store.
So when I was a sophomore in high school, my other manager, Ryan, who's Scott's nephew actually, worked for him part-time on weekends. So I asked if there was any employment opportunity available. So I started just Saturdays for a whole year. And when you only work Saturdays 1 day a week, it's kind of hard to get a grasp on things. So I was the scapegoat of Pizza Wave for about 1.5 years, 2 years. When something went wrong, it was on me. I was kind of a klutz.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was a mason before that. But I stuck with it, put in heavier hours in the summer. And then when I went off to college, I would return for summer, winter breaks, and continue to make pizza. And while I was up in Keene, New Hampshire, I would actually work at a really nice New York-style Italian pizza place called Ramonto's. And that's where I actually learned how to work a hand-tossed pizza and pull it off the peel and everything else that you see us do in the kitchen back here.
All right, and for those of you who don't know, the peel, and I only know because I asked today, the peel is that board that they slide a pizza into the oven on and pull it back. That's called a peel. So tell us a little bit about the difference between pizzas, because a peel pizza, stone baked, is different than a pan pizza. How so?
Well, there's a big variety of different kinds of pizzas, but the ones that you're going to see the most are a Greek-style pizza, which is cooked in a pan. So the way that works is, before your night, before your morning, you pull out the right amount of dough that you need to use, and you open it in a pan, and then it sits either in the cooler or at room temperature, and then you grab the pan, you sauce, you cheese it, you put it in the oven. What we do is We pull it out of the dough tray. We put it in flour, and we knead the dough out with our hands. We pound it. That's what it's called. If you're opening the dough, you're in the pounding station. If you're topping, you're painting. So it's pounding and painting.
Pounding and painting the pizza. All right, get this straight, everybody.
So traditionally, an Italian-style pizza will be hand-tossed. So we pull it to order, we put it in the flour, we open it. Some people will slap it like I do, and it's kind of fancy. Some people will just open it with their hands. As long as the crust comes out properly, we have no preference here of how our employees do it. As long as it comes out round and delicious, that's all we really care about. So normally, an Italian-style pizza will be cooked on a screen or pulled off of a peel directly on the oven, opposed to a Greek-style pizza being cooked inside of a pan.
All right, and that affects the flavor, obviously.
Yeah, that usually affects the flavor. If you find yourself in a good Greek joint where they have, seasoned pans, there's actually, a certain amount of grease. It sounds kind of nasty, but it's not. It's, what you're getting from that flavor. But, I mean, when you cook it in the oven, you got to think if you're cooking something in a pan opposed to directly on a stone hearth, the variance of temperature that's going to be touching the bottom of the dough, the amount of moisture that's within the pan is all going to affect, your end product.
Right.
And, between preparation and employees being trained, there's a large difference between Italian and Greek style pizza from the ground up, and you can taste the difference. Normally people like Italian style better, but there are very good Greek style pizza places out there.
All right, so Stone Lovin' Pizza isn't just pizza. I mean,
No,
what other things do you have on the menu?
We have a great variety of salads, sandwiches, paninis, soups. If you take a look at the menu behind you here.
Can we pan up, Gina? I don't know if we can, but it's a beautiful menu, as you can see, all very crafted in college. I'm not sure that we can pull up there, but Gina's going to try to roll up. So tell us about your favorite salad.
Favorite salad for me would probably be the summer salad. We offer it year-round, and what it comes with a little bit of romaine, a mesclun mix, with candied almonds, strawberries, feta cheese, and a poppy seed dressing, which we actually get from Saratoga Dressings, which is the national brand, but their headquarters is located right here in Canton. So it's great. The owner of that business is a huge advocate of us. We support them, they support us. So it's a great little partnership that we have that actually we didn't even know they were in Canton until we were open for 3 months, and we've been using their dressing for years now.
Wow.
So probably the summer salad, but the reason why our salads are such a trademark here at Stone Lovin', the reason they're so good and fresh is we have a very small kitchen here. It's not a giant location, so we use a company called Johnny's Produce. They're local, and they bring us fresh greens, tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, everything that you can think of on a daily basis.
Wow.
The only day we don't get it is Sunday, so we don't have time or space to be ordering, in bulk to save some money or something like that. Everything that we put out is fresh in our salads. We have unbelievable chicken wings. If you haven't tried them, you got to give them a shot. What we do is we take fresh, all natural, all breast chicken, and we clean it, and then we season it, and then we cook it in what's called our combi oven. Our combi oven has the ability to cook with steam. And when you steam a wing, it swells up real nice. And then we portion them, and then when you order them, you call up your order, we just flash fry them. They go in the fry later for about a minute or two. And then we season them to order whatever you want, buffalo, Kansas City barbecue, our house specialty lemon pepper parmesan. So every Sunday during football season, come playoffs, we sell anywhere from 800 to 1,200 wings.
So tell us about deliveries here at Stone Lovin'.
So we deliver in a 5-mile radius. Being in a tri-town between Stoughton, Sharon, and Canton, it gets kind of tough, with the high traffic areas. So you think we're here, we go all around.
Yep.
Whereas, I worked in the spot in Plymouth, the ocean was behind me. We did a 5-mile radius, but obviously we're not delivering to the ocean, so it was a little easier to maintain timing and, everything that goes into delivery. So we don't charge for delivery. We just ask that it's a $10 minimum. If it's any one of the local businesses around here, we'll bring them whatever they want. We'll bring them a brownie and a soda if they really want, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's free of charge. We really try to give you an accurate time on Friday nights, Saturdays. Sometimes it gets a little busy. They run, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. But we tell the customers that up front to, give them a really good idea of when they're going to get the food, because you don't want to tell someone it's going to be 40 minutes, so they make them wait an hour and 10. But most of the customers here in Canton, Stoughton, and Sharon are pretty reasonable. They know that, at noontime or at 5:30 at night, people are coming home from work. There can be a lot of traffic. Mm-hmm. So the biggest, part of delivering that gets tough on us is ensuring that the customer is going to get it within a 10-minute window of what we tell them.
So do you recommend, like if they could envision a busy time, that they should allow a half hour? And then when it's not busy, so if I called at 2 o'clock on an afternoon.
2 o'clock in the afternoon, chances are pretty good we're going to get out to you in about half an hour, 35 minutes. If you call on a Friday night, it's a busy Friday night, chances it's going to be 45 minutes to an hour. On those really busy nights, an hour and 10 minutes maybe. But as managers, me and Ryan, as well as the other staff members, try to make the food to order.
Right.
So if we tell you it's going to be an hour, we're not getting off the phone and making the pizza right away. We're going to wait, 35, 40 minutes. We're going to crank out the pie. The driver's going to come in and he's going to take it fresh to order.
So what you're trying to do is a timing issue with the drivers more than the pizza doesn't take that long. It's just you want to make sure your drivers are going to be in circuit.
Exactly.
To get them delivered on time.
Yeah.
Speak to us a little bit about healthy eating. Like some people would envision pizza as a staple to be adding calories that they can't afford. But talk a little bit about what other products you have that that won't put you in that place of, I'm not going to go there because of the calories.
Well, I mean, when it comes to pizza, if you're doing something, if you're an athlete or something like that, pizza's actually a great dinner. A lot of people have pasta at dinner.
Wait, pizza's a great dinner.
It is.
Come on now.
I was, being a collegiate athlete, the only thing that's really kind of bad on it is the greasy cheese, but there's good protein in that. So pizza kind of has a bad rep for that, but if you eat it in moderation, and if you have some kind of athletic event, if you're, training for something, it's actually a great meal to have the night before. And it's always good cold in the morning too. But in terms of...
You are a natural as a pizza person.
I am. I've been doing it too long for my age. But
in
terms of health, I mean, we briefly spoke about my salad menu. We offer probably 6 to 8 different kinds of salads, and I mentioned how fresh our produce is. We have low-fat dressings, high protein salads, great if you're coming out of the gym or if you're trying to cut down on a couple extra lbs after the holidays, which some of our customers are doing.
Okay.
But our sandwiches and wraps aren't that bad for you either. I mean, if you get a chicken breast sandwich, it's got a little bacon on it, no cheese. It's on a focaccia roll, which is pretty high in carbs and calories.
Okay.
But it's also got an avocado spread, baby spinach, so it's kind of like you're taking the good with the bad.
Ah.
If you get a chicken Caesar wrap, our chicken marinade is extremely healthy. And I don't want to give it away to everyone, but I'll tell you, it's just a little bit of oil, some garlic, Italian seasoning, and one secret ingredient that isn't that bad for you. So if you're getting our chicken, you're getting a low-calorie, high-protein, fresh, random chicken breast. They're delicious. And you don't have to worry about it being drenched in, something that's going to make you sick or something that's going to, run up the calorie count if you're being more health conscious.
Well, I'm taking this a little out of order, but I want to suggest to you that you have a pizza here with caramelized onions.
A lot of pizzas with caramelized onions.
Oh my God, that is so tasty.
We cook so we get a 50-pound bag of onions 4 days a week. So you do the math. It's anywhere from 150 to 200 pounds of caramelized onions a week here through the white onions.
How do you do that, caramelize an onion?
So you take the onion, you cut it in half, you peel it, and then you cut it to the thickness that you want, and then we cook it in a big ottoman with
a big what?
I think it's called ottoman or
Ottoman?
something. Not like you put your feet on.
Yeah,
but
it's something like that.
Yeah,
right.
so almost
I'm
like a wok, like
Like
you
a
see in a
wok.
Chinese
Okay,
food restaurant.
Okay, good.
So we cook it with tiny bit of butter and brown sugar, and that's all. So you got to cook it. Get two big pots going at the same time, and that might last us a night. Because when you cook the caramelized onions, they tend to stick together, they cluster, so when you put them on a pizza or you put them on a sandwich, they kind of group together. Opposed to a fresh cut red onion, it's going to kind of spread as it is and not stick to each other. They shrink down is kind of what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But I mean, our caramelized onions come on at least 3 of our specialty pizzas and 2 of our sandwiches. And then, you have the build your own pizza option where people will just call, they say, they want a pepperoni and mushroom, they want a pepperoni caramelized onion. It's a fan favorite. People will get our maple fennel sausage and caramelized onion. It's a very sweet pizza. That's a big popular item on our menu.
It's personally responsible for 3 of my pounds, I can tell you that. So that's why I asked about the caramelized onions. But so let's switch gears a little bit.
Sure.
You guys do a lot in the community. Tell us a little bit about how you value community and what you do to show the public that you value community.
Sure. I mean, well, myself being from the South Shore, I'd only heard of Canton. I think I played a soccer game up here when I was a kid. Scott is a Cape Cod guy himself, and the other manager, Ryan's from Plymouth, like me. So when we come into a town like Canton and, we have a really positive response from the customers, we really enjoy to give, back to the community. And it's tough because we're located in Canton, but if you go to Rite Aid next door, your cell phone's going to pop up Sharon. So we tend to, treat Canton, Stoughton, and Sharon as our hometown. We're a member of the Stoughton Chamber of Commerce. You know, so being on the Tri-Town, it's almost like we're a member of 3 families.
Right.
But anytime a school approaches us with a donation, whether it be pizzas for a football game or gift cards for the library, we actually just got a nice thank you letter from the Canton Library. We gave them a couple $25 gift cards for a raffle, and that happens probably 3 times a week, whether it's a personal event or something that's going to benefit the town, or, you know, I was an athlete growing up, so anytime one of the, you know, athletic teams from Stoughton, Sharon, or Canton approaches us with a donation, where we don't even blink twice at it. Gift cards, we've probably given away, since we've opened a year and a half, I would say close to $2,000 to $3,000 in gift cards alone, and that doesn't count, you know, real donations of pizza itself. And, you know, if someone calls and they have some kind of event going on, if it's a nonprofit or something like that, we tend to give them the pizzas at a really good deal just to cover our cost.
Right.
So that's kind of, you know, our idea of giving back to the community is feeding them and, you know, donating things such as gift cards and even cash if they need it, you know what I mean? It's more people come in looking for the gift card because, you know, it's a non-tangible, they can use it whenever they want, but
Right.
We rarely say no when the town or anyone from the community comes to ask for something. And on top of that, you know, we feed great food. We give them great food. So
Yeah, and you give there's some of the you give some food sometimes to the food wagon. What is it called? I think you've done a little bit of food contributions as well.
Yeah, of course. You know, and kind of to spin off that, if someone calls and if one of my staff takes an order wrong, say they wanted 5 pizzas for 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but they forgot to tell us.
Yeah.
Normally what we'll do is we'll take the pizzas or whatever food it may be and we'll bring it to the fire stations, police stations. And it's tough because, you know, if we bring them to Stoughton and then the Canton guys get word of it, they're like, why didn't you bring us anything?
What's up with that?
So we have to keep a constant rotation. And that doesn't happen all the time. What it does, you know, we always bring it, you know, we go to local businesses, but it tends to go more to the fire department and, you know, the police department and, you know, other members of the community that help serve. So we tend to think of that as, you know, a little way of helping out. Even though it was accidental, it's still in good faith, you know what I mean?
Yeah. As a way of introducing Stone Lovin', by the way, maybe you could just tell the audience where you are. So.
Well, we're in Cobb's Corner. We're located across the street from the large plaza, the village shops. And we're in the Rite Aid Plaza across the street, right next to Visions. There's a Dunkin' Donuts, and we're in the corner unit here next to Rite Aid and Caldwell Banker.
And I want to give a shout out to Billy and Andrea Trout, who are the landlords here.
Yeah, Billy's a really nice guy.
Very nice people, right?
Yeah, they do a great job with us. They're always working with us to see if, you know, we need anything. They're always on top of repairs, anything that needs to be done around here. Billy makes sure that it gets done so we can keep making pizza for the public.
Could you show us how to actually throw a pizza?
Yeah, sure,
And,
absolutely.
And we brought with us Bella Coe, and she's one of our pizza aspirants.
Sure.
So could we bring her into the show?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I'd
So
love
let's take this segment and reset, if we can, over to the pizza tray. All right. So I'm back here with Blake Nyman, and Blake is the general manager, as we mentioned, and we've brought in Bella Coe. So here's Bella. Let's get her right into the picture, and Blake is going to teach her a little bit about how to actually throw the dough, pound it.
We're going to pound it. We're going
But
to
we're
pound
going
it
to
and
pound the
toss
dough.
it.
All right, so
Yeah.
jump right in. Bella's
All right,
already
so-
washed her hands, so they're all getting cleaned up already.
So just for the people out there that are wondering why I'm not wearing gloves, this isn't ready to serve food. So ServSafe says that anything that's about to be cooked in an oven, I don't need to wear my gloves because I had washed my hands, and any kind of thing that's not supposed to be on there is going to be cooked off in the oven. So that's why we don't have to wear gloves over here. On my sandwich line, everyone, you know, that makes salads and everything, you know, does proper sanitation. So I'll pull this up here. So these are our dough balls. Get them with a little flour on top. And I'm going to do one first, and then I'm going to have you do one, okay?
Very nice.
So the key when you're pulling it off of here is to try to keep it as circular as possible. That's probably the toughest. And I'm probably gonna, this is a large dough, it's a 16-ounce dough ball, and it calls for a 16-inch pizza. This is Wandra. It's not a typical flour, it's a little more grainy. And what it does is it absorbs the moisture and it seeps into the pores of the dough, so as you open it, it allows it to expand without ripping. So the first thing we do here is we're dimpling the dough. And then we're gonna flatten. Don't be afraid of the Wandra here. Trying to keep it a perfect circle the whole time. More dimpling. And then we're gonna stretch it a little bit.
What are you thinking? You got it or no?
So this is our base. This is, an open dough. It's ready to be tossed. I don't know if we're going to have you toss it. We might have you knead it, but I'm going to show them how we toss it real quick. So as you bring it around, you're just kind of crawling in a circle here. Each time my hand moves up on the dough, and then we end with just a little throw.
Whoa.
That's it right there. So from here, we take our pizza paddle.
You take the peel.
This is semolina. What the semolina does, it allows the dough to go from the peel onto the oven without folding over itself. And it also gives the bottom of the pizza a little bit of texture and a nice crunch. So when we put it down, I want to try to keep it as circular as possible. And from there, we're ready to paint. So you want to take, are you righty or lefty?
Ready.
Righty. So you want to take it, and first we're going to dimple. Just put a couple little dots in it, all around. Don't be afraid to get the crust. See it down there? Don't be afraid to get that. And now from here, you want to take the palm of your hand and kind of just move it in a circle. Yep. Don't be afraid. We'll get a little more flour under there for you. There you go. So we're just kind of flattening it, making it even. And from there, we're going to take your right hand, and your fingertips are going to go right at the top here, and you're going to kind of just stretch a little bit in a circle. So you want to pull this way. Yeah. So it's a little tougher than it looks. You want to pick the dough up, put your hands under it with your knuckles, and just stretch. And then you want to take this hand, put it as close to this hand as possible, pull here, and then stretch again. Now you want to try to stretch near the edges because you don't want your middle to be too thin. So we do that a couple times, stretch, and then if you can, take this hand and just give it a little toss.
Let's go. Up it goes. A little spin. There we go.
Oh, that's good enough. It's
Good
already.
one.
Now, if you step back for a moment, I'll set you up with this peel. A little semolina, and we're going to try to keep it in that circle right there.
Make it a perfect circle, Bella.
That's a perfectly usable pizza dough right there. I want to put it right in the middle. Now you want to take the base and just try to work it around. Yep. And you want to leave a little bit of room, about that much room between the crust and the sauce.
Nice job,
Perfect.
Bella.
Most people's biggest problem when they first start topping pizzas is they don't go enough to the edge. So you want to make sure that everywhere that there's sauce, there's cheese. It's okay to get a little bit on the paddle. And then the last step, we'll take our oil, and this is what you're going to do right on the outside. You don't have to squeeze too hard.
Well, he sure makes it look easy, Bella, doesn't he?
You made your first stone oven pizza.
All right, a stone oven pizza going in.
Phone number 781-575-1700, and you can also order online at stonelovin.com. There's an online ordering, and come on down. We'd love to see you.
All right. I want to say thank you very much to Scott Lopes, also Blake Nyman in the background, also Bella Coe, who just did a wonderful job. In addition to that, we have behind the camera, we have Gina, Bella's mom, who's done a fabulous job, and Roy Cohen, who is our producer and who gets all of the pieces together before we start. So we want to thank Stoughton Media Access Corporation. This has been Hometown Business. Thank you very much. My name is Steve Kelley. We look forward to seeing you on the next show. Thank you for watching.